Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. Watch my video and subscribe my channel. Thomas returns with unexpected shake UPS and serious couple drama. Fans of Bold and the Beautiful, we have some very important news. I'm thrilled to announce that Matthew Atkinson will be returning to B&B in September. Thomas Forrester will return to Los Angeles. He will return to our screens, in case you haven't heard. Some things, including potential relationship swaps, will undoubtedly change when he returns. Matthew Atkinson returns to the role of Thomas Forrester in Bold and the Beautiful. We will discuss potential significant couple disruptions that could occur. Thomas's homecoming and other recent occurrences might set these off. Okay, that's fantastic news. It's verified. It's Matthew Atkinson again. As Thomas Forrester, he is now filming for Bold and the Beautiful. Here are some pictures of him playing cornhole at the new location where B&B is now filming. Matt Atkinson will be back on the air in roughly 3 to 5 weeks, now that he is back filming. Thus, September will undoubtedly arrive. The fans are ecstatic. I'm sure I'm ecstatic. B&B spoilers. Will Thomas Forrester make a quick or extended comeback? There are two possible outcomes for Matt Atkinson's character's return, either short-term or long-term. Let's discuss those potential outcomes. To be honest, the worst-case scenario is that Thomas returns with Paris Buckingham just in time for their wedding at the Forrester mansion. The departure is final after Thomas and Paris depart LA once more. I don't trust Brad Bell just because they're making such a huge deal out of his return. That's all I'll say. They brought Darren Brooks back for closure to tie the knot in a tidy bow, and then they wrote him out. As you recall, Wyatt Spencer was brought back for closure long enough to give the keys to the beach house and declare, "Oh, I'm off to live my best life out of LA." History of Bold and the Beautiful. Supporters worried about Thomas Forrester's destiny. Fans have been waiting for Thomas to return, so it would be terrible if that's what they're doing with Matt Atkinson. The best-case scenario is that Matt Atkinson will remain with the team and return to his contract as Thomas. If such is the case, many characters will experience significant changes. There's no doubt about it. I hope Thomas's return will completely take Logan by surprise. Diamond White, by the way, has not indicated that she will be coming back. She has other projects going on. That doesn't mean she won't return for a few more episodes to marry Thomas before departing. By the way, Diamond White is working on additional projects in the long run. Beautiful and brave, Thomas Forrester. Paris Buckingham, Hope Logan, and Carter Walton in the B&B love mix. Hope's life has seen a lot of changes while Thomas has been away. Hope and Carter Walton are engaged. She and Liam Spencer are on an emotional roller coaster. Remember that Thomas is engaged to Paris Buckingham, Grace's daughter as far as we know. Thus, Hope Logan's kid, Douglas Forrester, will have a step-grandmother in the form of the insane doctor who conned Liam Spencer. Is Henry Joseph Samry reprising his role as Douglas Forrester? Additionally, there is no corroboration of that. We're going to see father and son, I suppose. Unless Thomas is just returning to say, pick up Taylor Hayes, his mom. After being dumped by Ridge Forrester, Taylor is devastated and Thomas and Taylor depart the town once more. Will Thomas Forrester remain in Los Angeles or go away? With a little finality, that might be an in-and-out scenario. All of these things that Brad Bell might be doing to us need to be considered. Another negative possibility is that this is a passing fad rather than a lasting trend. Thomas would undoubtedly want to express his gratitude to Liam Spencer for saving his sister Steffi Forrester's life. I do wonder whether we will learn anything about Paris's feelings on her mother Grace's actions. Hope Logan might also get a thrill when Thomas comes back. If Thomas is staying, she might feel the same way she did before. Bold and the Beautiful. Is the love triangle getting hotter between Thomas, Hope, and Carter? As you recall, Thomas was the one who broke up with Hope after she rejected his proposal. Therefore, even though they have just been dating for 5 minutes, he might be shocked to find a ring that Carter placed on her finger. Hope truly loved Thomas, in my opinion. If Hope could, I believe she would still be with Thomas today. Moment he and Paris returned, if he hadn't left town. As you recall, Hope Logan attempted to persuade him to break up with Paris Buckingham and get back together. If Hope Logan didn't feel strongly about Thomas's return, I would be shocked. Carter should be concerned about this, particularly if Paris and Thomas don't return. BNB predictions. Will Thomas Forrester and Hope Logan reunite? Hope might desire to be with Thomas once more if he returns unmarried, announces that his engagement to Paris is over, and decides to stay in Los Angeles. Maybe she'll be pulled right back in. A couple's upheaval like that could result in another one. Daphne Rose, who is now back in the running, may win Carter over. All of this is happening at a very intriguing time. I even imagine Thomas and Daphne plotting to separate Carter and Hope. On Bold and the Beautiful, I would absolutely be interested in seeing a plan like that. Ivy Forrester, Carter Walton, and Daphne Rose cause a stir. Thomas may occasionally be a terrible boy, as we all know. I could picture him planning with Daphne if he's returning for Hope. Since Daphne and his sister Steffi are close friends, Thomas ought to know her. It would be very logical. As you recall, Steffi begged Daphne Rose to come and separate Carter and Hope, which is why she initially traveled to Los Angeles. Thus, Thomas and Daphne Rose might be plotting this time. Daphne and Carter are attracted to each other. It seems to me that Hope still harbors feelings for Thomas. In addition, many Thope shippers would be thrilled to see Hope and Thomas together again. For ratings, it would be fantastic. Ivy Forrester, Liam Spencer, and B&B's romantic twists. Bold and the Beautiful. It goes without saying that Hope and Liam Spencer have become closer in recent days. However, Ivy Forrester is smitten with Liam and wants to be back together. I'm willing to wager that Ivy will soon see Liam and express her feelings to him. Naturally, Ivy will be shocked to learn that Grace was pretending to have Liam's brain cancer, so that Liam and Ivy's spark could be seen. Hope might lean in Liam's direction. However, I believe he might tilt toward Ivy. She might be involved. It would be intriguing to switch couples 3 or 4 ways now that Thomas is back. Shake-ups of B&B couples. Hope, Carter, Liam, Ivy, and Daphne. Naturally, Hope and Carter are still engaged, at least for the time being. Do you think Hope, Liam, Carter, Ivy, and Daphne's lives would become chaotic as a result of Thomas's return? While in Los Angeles, Thomas must deal with more than just rearranging romantic interests. He must face his father, Ridge Forrester, about renouncing his relationship with Brooke Logan and so shattering his mother Taylor's heart once more. Thomas will be angry with Ridge Forrester, his father. We are aware that Steffi will also be extremely distressed. Before Steffi returns, Thomas should be back in Los Angeles. After giving birth to her 5th child, Jacqueline McInnes is presently on maternity leave. She is well past her due date, but she hasn't confirmed the delivery yet. She usually waits a few weeks after giving birth before telling anyone. It is anticipated that she will return in late September or early October. The return of Steffi Forrester and upcoming events on B&B. Steffi will be upset that Ridge betrayed his pledge to her that he would never again hurt her mother Taylor's heart when she returns. However, unless they push it into next week, that is just what he is doing this week. When Thomas returns, I have a strong suspicion that there will be a lot of drama everywhere. I sincerely hope that Brad Bell is not bringing Matt Atkinson back for a brief, sexy moment to wrap things up before writing him off for good, like they did with Wyatt. Hopefully, Thomas will return permanently. When we learn whether he is on contract or if this is just a drive-by, we will update you. Ridge and Brooke's startling betrayal is out. Spoilers for August 18 to 22. 2025's season of Bold and the Beautiful reveal Ridge Forrester and Brooke Logan's last treachery. Weekly spoilers for Bold and the Beautiful. Ridge Forrester and Brooke Logan's final betrayal. As is customary on early edition day, We begin by discussing the remainder of this week before delving into the upcoming week. I want to quickly bring up something that occurred on Wednesday. I'm not sure whether you've watched the episode yet. Reluctantly, Ridge left Brooke at Forrester Creations and visited Taylor Hayes at the estate. The fact that Brooke had to visit Taylor upsets him. However, Brooke was reassured by Eric Forrester that they were destined to be. What transpired between her and Ridge in Italy was fantastic, she was telling Eric and Katie Logan. Then Nick Marone arrives, ready to pop the question. B&B surprise. Drama is added by Nick Marone's proposal to Brooke Logan. I bring this up because Brooke and Ridge's actions, which we will witness again this week when they deal with the folks they are dumping, truly disturbed me. When Nick pulled out a ring to pop the question and declare his love for her, Brooke grinned broadly and responded, "I love you too," obviously encouraging him. Ridge was at the Forrester mansion at the same time. As if nothing were amiss, he entered and gave Taylor a kiss. He is discussing the wedding with her, and she is discussing it with him. He declares his love for her. Ridge is going to crush her even though he didn't provide any indication that something was wrong. It is simply a genuine betrayal. Ridge Forrester's secret on Bold and the Beautiful causes Taylor Hayes heartbreak. Instead of simply stepping in and saying, "Hey, we need to talk," they seem to be putting them under the impression that everything is good. Electra Forrester makes a significant decision on Thursday, August 14th. On Bold and the Beautiful, she tells Will Spencer that she's prepared to advance their relationship. Will's patience in waiting for her to prepare to take this step is much appreciated by Electra. He gave her a hug on Wednesday, which was kind of odd. She made that statement on Wednesday and plans to make it again on Thursday. Will didn't seem really excited about the prospect of having to wait for a long time. Will Spencer and Electra Forrester's future plans for their B&B romance. After all, Will is a Spencer male. I only hope that neither of their personal stalkers shows up to stop them from getting intimate now that Luna Nozoa is alive and we know Remy Price is still out there. This week, however, Electra will inform him that she is prepared. When he talks to her further about it, Taylor is raising doubts about the poignant moment between Ridge and Brooke in Italy. I simply wonder if Taylor will have to extract the truth from Ridge in the same way that a dentist extracts molars. "Yes, Brooke has a future," Taylor says to Ridge. Although she made it through this hardship, Taylor claims she won't be breaking off her engagement to Ridge. Thus her future will not be with him. Emotional exchanges. Taylor Hayes acknowledges Ridge's reality. That will be difficult, though, because Ridge will eventually return to Brooke regardless of whether the ring remains. Additionally, we ought to see more of Brooke Logan confessing her love for Nick. It will resume where it left off on Wednesday. However, I believe that Brooke deceives him for a few minutes, giving him hope. At last, she tells Nick, "Look, Ridge and I had a moment. We got back in touch. We are renewing our relationship." Nick Marone's divorce. Brooke Logan's startling disclosure. By the way, before Nick leaves town, I would really like to have a chat between the dumped Nick and the dumped Taylor. Jack Wagner will soon be gone. Filming for the upcoming season of When Calls the Heart has already resumed. But because Brad Bell doesn't give us good things, I just have the feeling that Nick and Taylor won't talk about that. Therefore, even if I hope it will, I doubt it will. Bold and the Beautiful. University Hospital's confrontation with Bill Spencer. By the end of this week, Bill Spencer will be at University Hospital to face Dr. Grace Buckingham. But it will either take place on Thursday or Friday, August 15th. Finn's phone conversation with Liam Spencer informs us that Grace did, in fact, turn herself in to the police. She then returns to her job. She is at the hospital wearing her lab coat. How on earth does that occur? Perhaps before charging Liam and Bill, the police should get their statements. We shall see. However, Bill has already stated that he will make her pay when he goes over there. I'm eager to hear what he has to say. You won't want to miss the parts where he rips Grace a new one. The I.L. Giardino scheme of Katie Logan and Sheila Carter plots. Sheila Carter also hears Katie at I.L. Giardino on Friday asking Deacon Sharp if she might host a little celebration for her son Will. Since Will was born on September 25th, 2012, I assume Katie is organizing his birthday celebration. It's funny, by the way, because this intimate narrative is taking place when he should be celebrating his 13th birthday. Sheila might thus be listening and loitering to make sure no one suspects Luna is still alive. Given how enamored Luna was with Will, Sheila might possibly be spying on him. She still has an obsession with Will, let's face it. Luna considered kissing Will Spencer as soon as she awoke from that coma. Thus, Luna's insanity is still present. It's a little unsettling that Liam didn't kill her. Sheila's risky scheme on Bold and the Beautiful and Luna Nozawa's secret survival. Sheila and Lee Finnegan spend time with Luna, who is recuperating on Friday as well. She is making excellent improvement. She remains bedridden in the hospital. However, she is dressed in civilian attire. She's wearing jeans. She's among the grandmothers, laughing. Sheila brings a gift for her granddaughter. They all three agree that nobody can find out that Luna is still alive. They're trying to figure out how to give her a fresh start. It must be outside of Los Angeles, I guess. Although I'm not sure if it's feasible. I am aware that Lee Finnegan stated she wished to rehabilitate her grandchild or niece. The challenges of Liam Spencer and the return of Ivy Forrester. Liam is attempting to determine his next course of action throughout the week of August 18th to 22nd. After an argument with Bill Spencer, he resigned from his position. However, I am aware that Liam's father wants him to return to Spencer Publications. This has been very devastating for him, you know. He must reconstruct his small environment and determine his next course of action. Ivy Forrester might at last confess her affection for Liam. Hope Logan is engaged, but they have been spending much of their time together lately. Another issue is that Thomas Forrester is returning to Los Angeles. Liam was the greatest guy ever, Ivy recently told Elektra. We are aware that Ivy is desperate to get Liam back. That would imply Ivy will stay, which is something I would enjoy. Complications between Thomas Forrester and Hope Logan. Elektra is prepared to have a sexual encounter with Will. He will be overjoyed. He's been really sympathetic. On the other hand, I don't think Elektra will say, okay, and they go right to it. Now that she's said, okay, I'm willing to wager that Will Spencer may want to get right to it. Hope shares Liam's experience with Carter Walton. Liam's newfound enthusiasm may be used by Daphne Rose, who might be intrigued, to undermine Carter's faith in his engagement. Luna is also concerned about what may happen next. What's concerning, though, is that even as he and Elektra are progressing, Will continues to dominate her thoughts. They are glad she is no longer alive. Simply said, it doesn't seem likely that Will and Elektra's nightmare with Luna is over. Deacon Sharp and Sheila Carter. Fresh B&B suspicion. Deacon becomes wary about Sheila. She will be hanging out with Luna and Lee for a considerable amount of time away from Mael Giardino. Deacon probably wonders where she is. Hopefully, Deacon won't believe that his 8-toed honey followed Sheila, met a new man, and learned about Luna. Also, if Ridge doesn't step up and take care of business during these 2 weeks, Brooke might grow impatient waiting for him to dump Taylor. Let's see how that turns out. The return of Thomas Forrester and Taylor Hayes' future. Additionally, as you may already be aware, Thomas will return in early September. In early September, Taylor is still in Los Angeles. Her name appears as one of the characters throughout the first few weeks in writings that have been leaked to me. That makes me concerned that Thomas Forrester won't stay and will simply return to help his mother and remove her from Los Angeles. If we merely get a drive-by, that would be awful. Hopefully, Matthew Atkinson will make a more lasting comeback.